Wow, happy Tuesday here in the southern Texas, not southern Texas, but southern state of Texas, where Texas knows about some cowboys and steers. And this isn't really smelling the old BS smell test. It looks like Biden has some explaining to do, assuming that he remembers it. And this is how the media is covering it or covering it up. How does Biden classified documents matter compared to Trump's? One is Biden was vice president at the time, which he doesn't have the powers to declassify documents. Trump was president, which has the authority to declassify documents. That's why it matters. The revelation that classified documents were kept at Biden's Penn Center for Diplomacy and Gold Engagement in Washington, D.C. think tank has raised questions about the situation involving President Joe Biden compared with classified documents seized at the former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Trump has sought to liken the classified documents at Biden's office used as a private citizen after he left vice presidency in connection with him being an honorary professor at the University of Pennsylvania to the documents taken by the FBI from the Mar-a-Lago in August. I think there's more weight behind Joe Biden's crimes or alleged crimes or mishandling because he was a vice president. When the FBI is going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, perhaps even the White House, Trump posted on the social media site Truth Social after the revelation. These documents were definitely not declassified. In an interview with Fox News host Sean Hannity in September maintained that he had the declassified documents at Mar-a-Lago that he would do simply by thinking about it, and even said that they were his property. When the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago, they found a large number of questionable declassified or classified documents, depends on how you view it. Some containing top secret markings that came after months-long efforts of the National Archives and the Justice Department to retrieve them. So Joe Biden's been out of the White House for 4 years, 6 years, as vice president. Trump was out of the office for under 2 years and gets his house raided. The crimes are apples to apples. By contrast, when the Biden's attorneys found what they said was a small number of documents in November when closing the office. So, I get where they're coming from here, where the attorneys says, oh crap, we're not supposed to have these, and handed them over. I don't think that should give them any merits or any brownie points. The fact is he had classified information when he wasn't supposed to. The documents were not subject to any previous requests or inquiry by the archives, which Osama special counsel to Biden said in a statement, but it doesn't really matter. I know it was only 12. Doesn't really matter. It's like 12 documents. He should never have taken them home. Should never have left the archives. And to be honest, I'm quite tired of the dog and pony show that Washington, D.C. is playing. Washington, D.C. is using either the DOJ or the National Archives to say, Trump took documents. We don't know where this is, and this is, you need it back. And who knows if Trump didn't or didn't do it. From my understanding is that Trump opened his home to these people to collect them at any time, but they chose to raid his home and go through everything. Now, of course, the GOP racists suggest Trump equivalency and backlink these classified docs. Now, this is from the Politico. House Republicans are racing to draw a straight line from the newly discovered classified documents found by President Joe Biden's personal attorney to the legal jeopardy enveloping former President Donald Trump over his own storage of top secret material at Mar-a-Lago, and Democrats aren't having it. Less than 24 hours after Biden attorney disclosed the November discovery. By the way, this happened a week before the elections, midterms. This was hidden from the press or by the press until now. Don't you think this information would have been prudent for voters? I mean, I know we weren't electing the president, but it seems like there's a habit of forming here. The October surprise only tends to hurt Republicans. The Hunter Biden story, which may or may not have influenced people's decisions to vote for Biden if they've known about it, happens after the election. And also, a lot of people were voting early, so who knows if they would have taken the time to change their votes. Let's see here. GOP lawmakers hustle to use their new House majority to launch inquiries into the matter, attempting to equate it to the circumstance behind last year's FBI search of Trump's residence. Incoming House Intelligence Chair Mike Turner, Republican, Ohio, on Tuesday sought that the National Security Damage Assessment of Biden's document, warning that the president may have violated two laws that the Justice Department cited explaining his Mar-a-Lago search, but Democrats pushed back quickly, contrasting Trump's months-long refusal and immediately turned over his documents to the National Archives, were immediately returned of the Biden-centric material by the sitting president's attorney. But why were you asking for these documents? Were these documents really... So they're not going to tell us what the documents are. We're not going to read it. It's one of those, trust us, bro. Trump is evil. Biden didn't do anything wrong. Look at the attorney. He gave him back. 6 years after he left office as vice president, Joe Biden left office. Now he's within the 2 years of almost serving as president. So that's a total of 6 years that he had possession of unclassified or classified documents. How is this not similar to Trump? It's the same crime. The only difference is the president has the president has the authority to declassify documents, whereas the vice president doesn't. So therefore, it's more of a criminal offense of Joe Biden. California Rep. Pete Aguilar, the House Democrat caucus chair, echoed the sentiment and slammed the GOP inquiries as Republican hypocrisy at its finest. Let's talk about hypocrisy. Let's really do. Let's talk about hypocrisy. It's not one party that's full of hypocrisy. Both parties are full of hypocrisy. Seems like the Democrats have it worse. They say, do as I say and not as I do. Whereas the Republicans play the defense game, say, well, in this case, this is what the people wanted because we hold the Senate, whereas the Democrats hold the president. So therefore, the people say that the GOP Senate should do what they should be able to do. Yeah, I'm referring to the Supreme Court pick. But yeah, so both parties have hypocrisy. When the former president had 320 documents found at his personal residence, they said that will not be a priority, while President Biden did was disclose this to the archives and let law enforcement know. I mean, it could be for show. It could be trying to make Trump look bad, but it doesn't really matter. Biden party argued that the handling of this matter by his team, that the archives and DOJ should increase confidence in the process. The archives immediately referred to the matter to the DOJ, just as it did when classified documents were discovered amid Trump's files, and the DOJ quickly appointed U.S. Attorney to review the matter. Both House Republicans are, but House Republicans are eager to use their freshly gained investigation powers. Go for it. Against Biden administration, at the same Republicans who chambered to defend Trump to call to defund the FBI, the IRS, and the income tax. I'm adding that part. To defund the FBI over the search or shrugged it off as controversy about handling the sensitive national security secrets now leading the charge to describe Biden's discovery as ignogus, or whatever that word is. If then Vice President took classified documents with him and held them for years, and then criticized former President Trump during the same time that he had those classified documents, I wonder why the press isn't asking the same questions of him. Talking about hypocrisy on both parties. You have Vice President Biden, Democrat, now President Biden, a Democrat, slandering Trump, not really slandering, but going after Trump, while he had classified information. So the intent on the Kremlin issue particular is very important. Biden White House immediately tried to emphasize that the transparency and handling of the records which were found at the Penn Biden Center for the Diplomacy and Global Engagement, which was open to the world. I think the Chinese donated like $5 million or something like that to it. While still mindful that the DOJ's process, the close allies quickly pushed back on GOP-led investigation, stressing the difference between Biden and attorneys quickly turning over the documents over 6 years, I'm adding that part, and Trump's refusal to cooperate. I mean, my understanding, Trump was trying to cooperate. He says, the documents are here, come whenever you want. So they kicked in the door. When the former president hid classified documents, it wasn't hidden. The House Judiciary Committee thought it was a joke, and the House Oversight Chairman Coomer said that it was not a priority. Read the talking points circulated by the outside groups of Congressional Integrity Project. Yeah, I'm not going to finish this. This video is going on long enough. But yeah, the fact that they're talking about hypocrisy of the GOP, yes, as a voter, I know the GOP is full of hypocrisy. As a voter, I know the Democrats are full of hypocrisy. There's hypocrisy on both sides, and integrity is lacking on both sides, and this is just political theater at this point. I don't think anything's going to happen to Biden unless they want a presidential Kamala Harris, which they might want, but she's been also a laughing stock with the passage of time. Is the time that moves within the passage of time, whatever that stupid speech was, where she speaks in circles. But yes, to the point, there's a lot of shadiness that happens in D.C., and hopefully the Freedom Caucus can at least shed some light to it so we, the voters, can vote people in or out of Congress to kind of clean up the corruption, clean up the hypocrisy, and clean up the garbage that we have representing us. With that being said, that is my video. Leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. Also, if you want to smash the like and subscribe button, that would also be awesome. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.